So you have to think that he's got a cracking chance to back up that victory with a strong jockey booking. Horse 1 is Giddy Aunt. This is the joint top rated in the field of 52, daughter of Mason, who hasn't been able to get a win to her name from 11 runs. She got close though on a penultimate run. That was at Bath over 5.5 furlongs, stepping back up to 6, and she's only had the one go on the all-weather, so just a little bit difficult to assess where she is in and amongst this field. But you could say for a few of them. 8 is Endless Season. He's got the cheap pieces on. David Probert's on board, and this daughter of War Command is another maiden, and she probably her best results have been over a trip further than this. She's only run once over 6 furlongs back in her earlier days, so stepping right back from a mile to 6 furlongs will be interesting to see how she gets on. And then there's our next one is Poseidon Prince for Michael Atwater and William Carston. A big price here off the back of not a huge amount in terms of his form this season. He hasn't managed to get into even the placings on all his efforts for this trainer, Michael Atwater. So again, quite tricky to fancy. 6 is Norwand for William Knight and Neil Callan. This horse ran well here over 6 furlongs, or well enough here over 6 furlongs back in March, but that was when he was with Kevin Ryan. He's now with William Knight, and again hasn't really found his form. He did start life in a handicaps off a rating of 69. He's now right down to 48. This daughter of Dark Angel is a son of Dark Angel is a nice looking type, but just difficult to know where he is in amongst these others. He's just come into the paddock. Horse 8 is Endless Season. We'll just have to spin around again, and I'll pick up horse 9. 9 is Sir Cedric for Lee Carter and George Adobe, and this horse is a winner, but that came quite a while ago now, back at nearly 2 years ago, and is dropping right down in the handicap. Hasn't done a huge amount of racing this year. It's coming back after a bit of a break, but he's a very good looking son of Dragon Pulse, must say, but just needs to find his form. Q20 Boy for Mark Usher and Alicia Perkins was a winner when last seen here, beating Me Banan on up under Alicia Perkins, who's back on board. Her £7 claim really helping, and he's only up £2. And look, this isn't a deep race at all, so if he can reproduce that form, he should have a cracking chance. But it is Time Patrol, who you'd have to imagine might just still have a little bit of juice left in his mark.
give you the betting ahead of Division 2. Time Patrol 5-2, Q20 Boy 7-2. Nawand is 4-1, Endless Season is 4-1, 13-2, and bigger the rest. James, this one easier to solve than Div 1?
Possibly not. Time Patrol is the interesting one because clueless in the three maidens, relatively clueless for half the race at Windsor, and then took off, and unfortunately, in some respects for Tony Carroll, the 101 shot beat the stablemate that had been well backed and subsequently got moved to another yard.
I don't think that was a plan.
No, I don't think it was expected. Against that, time was good. El Hibri won in his next start for Ian Williams at Kempton. And you would imagine from the basement mark of 48 still, only gone up £2, there's plenty of improvement. My only concern was, would he still be sharp enough on Neil Weather early doors? But there's not much competition. Q20 Boy, very similar to Archino's Gift. Wouldn't be surprised if he won, but he's not very consistent.
Steve? Oh, I mean, I completely agree with every word James said. I mean, Time Patrol left, it was, to say left previous form behind is sort of so underplaying it with a huge amount. But now, if that's it finish, then the horse is probably just going to win in its turn. But sure, it is possible that he could take another jump forward. I would be happier, I must be honest with you, if it was turf racing. But I do think by a long way the most interesting runner in the race. He had one goal at the
why would we be happier?
Just a more likely of a strongly run race. 6 furlongs round the all-weather isn't really much of a test.
I think that inexperienced horses, a straight track is so much easier for them than getting unbalanced around a bend if they are still a little bit on the green side sometimes.
I thought Nicola Curry did well
on the all-weather, but that was that. And I think the first 3 rounds you could almost ignore in terms of what we know. Now we'll find out plenty about him today, but he is the one horse in the race with an upside, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, 20 Boy was course and distance winner last time, 12 days ago, but
for today's jockey as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, Alicia Perkin,
her first winner.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, he's only up 2 as well. Fair enough, but
he's an 8-year-old who wouldn't be an obvious one to follow up.
I think he'll do well. He may not have to improve, but Time Patrol is at least possible that Time Patrol could take another step forward.
Where do you want to go next?
Possibly the money horse, Endless Season, is 0 from 15, but I like the angle dropping back to 6, potentially on the turf in particular. Hasn't been seen and out over a mile. Couple of 6 furlong placed efforts in these kind of Class 6 contests. David Probert's having a relatively good evening, still won. Could go close. Giddy Ant, loving race maiden, but has shown on signs of ability. Only lost out by neck at Bath. We've got a few more, perhaps unexposed ones than Division 1, but like you've not got an old boy like Jumeirah Bridge that had a little bit of back class. They've all really been confirmed at this level from day one in their careers.
Yeah, I mean, Cody Hawkford, Derek Shaw's got another run here, but I thought 58 was enough on. Sorry, 50.
I was surprised he didn't get the minimum.
Yeah, me too.
Because he hasn't shown really why you would rate him any higher than the minimum from the 3 runs.
I agree. Now I'm hoping, I hope he improves now his handicap, but it's not obvious to me that he's well treated.
I'm looking back at the debut, whether it's that, but it's.
I can't find one of his runs which justifies a mark of 50.
Yeah, the debut was a race where unfortunately there was a horse got injured, and it meant that they condensed the pack up, which is why he was only beaten 8 lengths. But actual speed-wise, the time was very, very slow.
Yeah, well, the second that day is now rated mid-70s, but and I guess what was he? Yeah, 6 lengths behind that. But it's not obvious, is it?
Yeah, that's what I think when handicapping sometimes. For example, we had 2 runners in a division of a novice at Kempton yesterday. One was 3 seconds slower than the other. Both our horses are 3-year-old handicappers going forward, but one got beat 8 lengths, the other got beat 18 lengths. They're both exactly the same quality, but one's going to get a handicap mark £10 higher purely because he was beaten 8 lengths compared to 18 when the tempo of the race would spread them out in Division 2. So that's a classic example of a horse which strict handicapping, probably rating it through the horses that are above him. You could argue 50's lenient in some respects, yet the 2 subsequent starts have shown you that he's run nowhere near that level.
So loading process is well underway. Sum it up for us, James.
I thought trickier than Division 1. All about whether Time Patrol builds on that win at Windsor. Every chance he will do. End of season, the selection at 9-2, but it's tricky.
OK, Steve?
Tick in both cases.
There you go.
Dropping into sprinting, let's see if that works. So that'd be my second choice as well.
You concur. Time Patrol goes.
Racing Welfare Handicap, second division, 6 furlongs once again. The 8 runners all leave the stalls. A little bit slow into stride was Cody Hawk, and slow to gather stride was Narwand. Out extremely well was Giddy Aunt, who leads early on, closer to the running rail with Endless Season. Q20 Boy, quite keen in the blue and white colours from Sir Cedric, and on the outside now let up is Narwand. Slight colour change, Poseidon Prince now in black and orange. Whiteface crosses behind the field to join Time Patrol, and right at the back is Cody Hawk. So into the turn, Q20 Boy has the lead. Narwand in the headgear on the outside, Giddy Aunt the steel grey in third. Sir Cedric's red cap on the inside, Endless Season getting a nice trail through in the white cheek pieces. Wider out at this stage is Poseidon Prince. Time Patrol travels okay, but is right amongst horses at the moment, and Cody Hawk is the back marker. So on straightening, Q20 Boy passes the 2 with Giddy Art in the striped sleeves. Nice gap up the inside for Endless Season. Time Patrol just being pulled towards the centre, still with a bit of work to do. Out in the middle of the track, it's Q20 Boy, has a narrow lead from Giddy Art, and then on the inside, Endless Season. These 3 late in the day. Time Patrol really is beginning to get home strongly, but has got 3 lengths to find. Q20 Boy out in the lead on the run to the line. On the inside, Endless Season pokes their head up the inner. Endless Season, photo with Q20 Boy, Giddy Aunt in third. Late headway for Time Patrol and Cody Hawk.
Well, looks like Endless Season might on the nod. Oh, yes, I think Endless Season on that far side. Q20 Boy, I thought was going to go away with that. And in the middle, I think we had Giddy Aunt, but it was Endless Season who looks like the cheap pieces, and also coming down to this trip of 6 furlongs. Well worth exploring, and managed to just get the better of Q20 Boy, who looked like he was travelling pretty well. It was interesting to see how Time Patrol was trying to make his way around horses and just wasn't working out for Ross Orion today, but did get the run when everything started to open up for him. But the race had been run in front of him with those 3, Endless Season, Q20 Boy and Giddy Aunt, all batting out for the minor money. And Alicia Perkins, I thought, was going to ride her second winner, but it was Endless Season who's bounces right back to form here. Definitely worthwhile with this 6 furlongs trip being tried, and it's now means that she's no longer a maiden, so well done to her connections.